Hello everyone. Today we will discuss effective communication skills. I am Ms. Puneprita Singh, Assistant Professor of English, Government Shivnath Science College, Rajnandgaon, Chhattisgarh. So, what is communication? Communication is an art of transmitting information, ideas, and attitudes from one person to another. Communication is the process of meaningful interaction among human beings. कम्युनिकेशन संवाद हम कह सकते हैं उसको. Essence. What are the essence of communication? Through these essence, we can understand communication better. So, personal process. Communication is a personal process. It involves change in behavior, as it includes persuasion, it includes recommendation, ordering, emotional interaction, means to influence others, expression of thoughts and emotion through words and actions. Not only words or sounds come or written words come in form of communication. Body language also plays an important role when we talk about communication. Then it is a social and emotional process. As a social being, humans need to communicate with each other to create that kind of bond. What are the most common ways to communicate? Spoken words, written words, visual images, and body language. Key elements. We can divide the modes of communication into two forms: verbal communication or non-verbal communication. In verbal communication, we can take language and clarity as element, tone and pitch, as sound plays a very important role when we talk about communication. If I have a wrong pitch, if I am not toning down my voice and I am just shouting, it will not be a good communication. Next element can be non-verbal communication. It includes body language, facial expression and gestures. Not only our voice, the sounds we create are important, but also how a face is made, how my hands are doing things is also important when it comes to communication. Communication process. Communication is a process which is circular in nature. It always goes on in the circular motion. Here, communication has first of all a sender, and sender is the encoder of the message. Message is what? Message are our thoughts, ideas, emotions that we want to share. So, what we are feeling, we encode that message in certain form of sentences and we send it to the receiver. So receiver is the person who receives that message and decodes it. Decoding is actually understanding. We frame the message and the receiver decodes the message. Then comes a very important part is medium. How we are communicating, through speech, through letter, through eye contact, through expressions. What is the medium of sending the message? Then comes feedback and response. When the sender chooses a medium and send the message to the receiver then again encodes and responds to the sender. That's why when I said communication is a circular process, this is the reason. These four things goes on constantly. There is a sender, there is a medium, there is a receiver, and there is a response or a feedback. But also one thing, the very important thing that can affect communication negatively will be barriers. It can be any kind of barriers. Further, communication process in our daily lives, we can see the pie chart here. Listening involves 45% of our daily activity, speaking 30%, writing 9%, reading 16%. What you can see here that listening has a very wide aspect in communication. After listening comes speaking, then reading and then writing. Writing is the last form of mode of communication that we use. We don't use writing very frequently, but we speak, of course we do, and we listen a lot. So listening becomes a very important factor in communication. So coming back to the barriers of communication, what are the things that can hinder a good communication? Lack of clarity, the first thing. If a messenger, like I am the messenger and I am not able to encode the message according to you, or I am not clear enough what I want to tell you, that will be lack of clarity and you will get confused. What I mean, the receiver will get confused. Then comes noise. The outside environment also affects. If I'm speaking here and there is sudden honking noise you will get distracted. So it will not be a effective communication. Then inappropriate medium, like here I'm speaking, I'm using a speaking method so you can listen. But if I'm mute and you just see the words, will you be like able to understand or relate with me or connect with me? No. So inappropriate medium choices are very dangerous barriers in communication. Then comes assumption or misconception. Already set mindset of the receiver that the person who is sending the message or who is the messenger is going to say this thing. When we set our mind like that, so whatever message comes towards us, we always misunderstand and misinterpret or misencode, decode the message. Then emotions. Emotions always has an important part when it comes to communication. Communication, what is communication? Communication is the social relation forming skill. And emotion plays a very important role. If I am angry right now and someone comes to me with a good news, I'll be confused. My mind will be confused that how should I react? Maybe I'll be like, oh yeah, very good, congratulations. Will that be enough? The person who has brought the good news will be, what? I'm not happy enough, right? What had happened? So this would not be a good kind of communication from my side. My feedback would not be good, right? Then language and cultural difference. We live in a global world now. You know, we live in a broad village. So language and cultural difference are the reality of today's life. So if there is a language barrier, if the language you are speaking, the person in front of you could not understand, this creates a barrier in communication. Culture difference also, poor listening skill. If one person is speaking constantly about a thing and the person in front is not interested, is distracted, so both the medium, the sender as well as receiver, are not in the same page, and this is not an effective or good communication that is happening, because there is no decoding or encoding of the message correctly. Then distractions, multiple distractions comes in our daily life, like I'm speaking on this topic right now and someone just calls me from downstairs, so I'll be like, oh, what happened, right? So these kind of distractions, we always face this kind of distraction. So it is very important to be conscious about these distractions and not get distracted very easily. Hearing versus listening. As we have seen, listening component plays a very important and prominent role in communication. So listening skills are very important skill when we talk about communication skills or effective communication skills. So what is hearing and what is listening? Hearing is actually a physical process. It is a natural process which is passive. But listening, on the other hand, is a physical as well as mental process, and it is an active process because you want to listen something. You are focusing your thoughts, your ideas, your attention towards that. So that's why it becomes a skill. Listening is hard. You must choose to participate in the process of listening. When you are just hearing, when we say एक कान से सुना and दूसरे कान से निकाल दिया, it is a similar process. You hear random noises you hear in your daily life. Do you remember everything? No. But when we listen to something, when we listen our friends talk, we remember that, right? That's why a good listener is never just hearing, he is listening to you. Then, values of active listening. What are the values? Listening to others is an elegant art, of course. The more you listen to someone, the more you get emotionally attached to that person, the more you get experience and more knowledge. Then, good listening skill can improve social relation and conversation. Of course, I must say you must have felt this in your daily life. Next comes listening is a positive activity rather than passive or negative activity. There is no after effect or no negative effect of listening. It is a very big thing. So, it involves fully engaging with the speaker, demonstrating understanding through verbal and non-verbal cues, and providing feedback. Listening is not just sit and listen to words. The words are coming in your ears and you're just feeding them in the mind. No. Listening is a skill where you give cues to the speaker also. Like you lean towards them, you nod, you blink, right? These are the bodily cues that you give to the person. You clap, obviously, right? Then tips. Here is the tip for active listening. Maintaining eye contact. Eye contact is very important because when we say eyes are through eyes we can see your soul, right? So eyes are very important. Then avoiding interrupting. Don't interrupt someone when they are speaking about something, when they are sharing with you. Don't interrupt like, oh yeah, what I was thinking that. No. Firstly, you have to have patience when it comes to effective listening. Your listening skills. You have to have that patience to listen to the full story. Then paraphrasing to confirm comprehension. Don't paraphrase. Don't manipulate the message according to you. Always purely decode the message. Okay? These were the values of active listening or tips for active listening. Skill needed for effective communication. So, what are the skills that one should have to have effective communication with anyone? First of all, empathy, not sympathy. Empathy is very important. Understanding and sharing the feeling of others. It is very important to feel empathy towards the person who is sharing maybe a sad memory or anything, a happy memory also. You should empathize with them. Then clarity and conciseness. Presenting information in a clear and concise manner, avoiding unnecessary jargon or complexity. Don't use very complex or bookish language in daily life communication because maybe the person who is in the receiving end may not know the meaning of that word and they will get confused and your message will not be properly delivered. So it will be a negative point for you only if you use very like tough words for just a glass of water, right? Then adaptability. One should have adjusting nature. So adjusting communication style and approach based on the needs, preferences and characteristics of the audience. So what you have to have that you should adjust your speech or your message according to the receiver. Okay. assertiveness. The speaker should be assertive, expressing its thoughts, needs, and opinions, and with confidence and but respectfully. You don't have to. Assertive here does not mean like just go and talk and talk and talk and make them listen to you. No, but you should express them and keep that entertaining, so the the receiver is entertained and is there to listen to you. So assertiveness is very important. Then comes feedback, providing and receiving constructive feedback to enhance understanding and improving communication. Providing and receiving feedbacks improves the quality of communication that is going on. The circle is being improved. The decoding will be improved. The encoding will also be improved if you have good feedbacks. Conflict resolution. Addressing and resolving disagreement or conflict in a constructive manner. Don't get destructive. Oh, you don't understand this, you know nothing. No. Discuss it and try to find a common ground. So conflict resolution is also very important in social skills too. Then comes confidence. Of course, one has to have confidence to express oneself. So projecting self-assurance in communication, which instills trust and credibility, is very important. Then open-mindedness, having a willingness to consider different perspectives, ideas, and opinions. These three things, I must say, conflict resolution, open-mindedness, and empathy. These three skills are very much needed in our social life. Without that, I don't think we will be able to exist and make friends. So these were the skills that were needed for effective communication. Then do's and don'ts. So what should we do for effective communication? Always think ahead about what you are going to say. Always think and encode the message. Use simple words. We have talked about it. Increase your knowledge on all subjects you are required to speak. Adjusting yourself to in reference to the listener. What the listener knows. Do I have any new thing to add on to it? So you have to constantly improve your communication, your ideas, your message. Then speak clearly and audibly. You should have a clear tone, a clear pitch, and perfect tone and pitch to deliver your message. Check twice with the listener whether you have been understood or not. You should always get feedback. Ask for feedback. Did you understand? You got it? Like that. Always ask for feedback. In case of interruption, always do a little recap. If there is an interruption, okay, हाँ मैं क्या कह रही थी? हाँ मैं इस बारे में बात कर रही थी. Similar to this, you always have to, if you are interrupted or you get distracted, always revise a bit. So it makes the flow come back. Okay. Next one, always pay individual attention to the speaker. You should have one-to-one communication. It is not like I'm speaking, and the person in front of me or the person in front of me are feeling like what? She's not interested with me. She's not interested with me. She's not interested in communicating with me. Don't confuse your listener. Always have one-to-one conversation with your listeners. Then, while listening, it is very important. Always make notes of important points. So it is a bonus point for in your classrooms also. When we say take notes, this is what we are talking about. While listening, there are few things that are very important, like you can forget them, but when you write them, you remember that twice. The message is decoded twice. We can say it was decoded as well as encoded. You make notes in your own words, right? So if these two processes are going in a single idea, you will remember it for a long time. Then always ask for clarification if you have failed to grasp others' point of view. Also always ask if you don't get it. Don't keep it to yourself or hesitate to ask. If you want to have an effective and quality communication, never should hesitate to ask that you didn't understand or you have any doubt. So, don'ts of communication. This is very important. Do not instantly react or mutter something in anger. If you are being, if you feel offended or anything, don't just react to it. Like, what are you saying? No, no. Listen to them first of all. Listen to their point of view. It is very important. Then give your feedback. Then do not use technical terms. We talked about it earlier also. Do not use complex terminology, complex words in a simple environment, right? Don't use complex words in your houses. Okay? Do not speak too fast or too slow. Don't take too much time or don't rush. So keeping the pace is very important. Then do not speak in inaudible surroundings as you won't be heard. अब आपको बोलना ही है बोल के आप बहुत एक बड़े ग्रुप में खड़े हैं एंड आप चीख चीख कर अपना मैसेज दे रहे हैं, लेकिन उस ग्रुप में इतना डिस्टर्बेंस है, इतना डिस्ट्रैक्शन है कि वो आपको सुन ही नहीं पा रहा है. सो दिस कम्युनिकेशन इज इनइफेक्टिव. इट इज नॉट नीडेड एंड इट इज नॉट व्हाट इसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है और ये ट्रांसमिट ही नहीं हो रहा है मैसेज. सो always be aware of your surroundings. If there are too much noises, pause for a bit, take your time and then continue. Then do not assume that everybody understands you. There is no 100% possibility that everyone that are listening to me right now also have understood. So give the reader also the time. Make them ask questions, take their feedback and then renew or we can say revise what we are talking about. Then while listening, do not glance here and there as it might distract the speaker. So while listening, the speaker is looking onto you and you are like, no, don't do that. Don't distract the speaker. Always have an eye contact, which we talked about earlier. Then don't interrupt the speaker. We should have this common decency. Like if you are listening to someone, have this decency and have the patience with you. Listen to them fully with patience and then give your feedback. Do not jump onto the conclusion. Don't have this kind of mindset with you that they will say these things only, they believe in this thing only, they will manipulate me only. Yet don't think negatively when you come in the process of communication. Always have that open mind when you are doing communication with someone. So, how to improve your existing level? Communication skill, we all have communication skill, but how can we improve? Basic language skill, of course, LSRW skill, listening, speaking, reading and writing. We should work on them constantly. Improve pronunciation and punctuations also in writing. Work on voice modulation. You should have the knowledge of the pitch, where it should go higher, where it should go lower, how to highlight your message, your ideas using the pitch, voice modulation also, and body language also. These three things work together for an effective communication. Then interact with qualitative people. The more you interact with qualitative people, the people who have knowledge about different things, the more knowledge you will get, the more ideas you will get, and the more quality your communication skill will be. Then think and speak. Always think before you speak. Do not speak too fast. Maintain your pace. Use simple vocabulary. Do not speak only to impress someone and look presentable and confident. Body language, as I said, is also very important in communication. Improving body language. So, keep appropriate distance. Don't just rush over to somebody. Yeah, listen. Keep your distance. Touch only when appropriate and when needed. take care of your appearance. Of course, you should always be presentable. Then be aware, people may give false cues. Sometimes only the sender is not the person who is giving false cues or who is not having a good body language, but receiver also sometimes give false cues. Sometimes the receiver does not give uh, apt body language that the sender could understand the receiver is listening or is distracted or is understanding or not. So sometimes body language can be confusing. So you must always be conscious of your body language while speaking as well as listening. Then maintain eye contact and smile genuinely. A smile can cure all pain. So smile is very important. So we got to know about communication skill, what is listening, and how to improve, what to do and what not to do. So in the new global and diverse sphere requires excellent communication skills. So I hope, dear students, as we have known what is communication, what our communication is skill, you will work towards it. Thank you so much. Have a good day.